For a long time, growing a small account felt random. I gave the same effort, I had the same discipline, completely different results. I kept thinking the answer was a better trade, a smarter setup, one more indicator, but it wasn't. The turning point came when I made one change, and once I did, the growth stopped being a surprise. Let me show you what I mean. This account started small, really small, just $100. And over the last 6 months, it's grown steadily. Not because of one lucky trade and not because I took more risk. I stopped the shiny object syndrome. What I changed was how I traded. And in this video, I'm going to show you the one change that made this possible, the system behind it and why it works, even if you're starting small, as long as you do it the right way. And the change wasn't complicated. It was deciding to stop trading all the time and start trading with a system. I don't trade every day. I don't stare at charts all day. I traded on a fixed schedule, Mondays and Thursdays. And most weeks I'm done in about an hour. How awesome is that? I love it. That alone removes a massive amount of randomness. Because whenever you trade, whenever you feel like it, you're reacting to the markets. But when you trade on a schedule, you're executing. The one change was building a system where the decisions are already made before the market opens. It's the same rules, the same risk, same expectations, except way better results. And that's when consistency replaces the chaos. So here's what most people misunderstand about randomness in trading. It's not the market, it's you. Random sizing, random entries, random exits, changing strategies after a loss, breaking rules after a win, not even following your strategy in the first place. You have no idea what's happening, and that's randomness. And a system removes that by forcing structure. And for me, that structure has 3 parts. A fixed trading schedule, defined risk on every trade, clear profit targets and no guessing, and when the account is small starting out, a consistent deposit schedule. And once those are in place, you don't need perfect entries, you don't need to predict the future. You just need to execute. Now let me show you how the system itself works. Here's the key thing to understand. I don't rely on one trade, I rely on one system, and every trade inside of that system has a job. On Mondays, I focus on income-style options trades where time decay works in my favor. On Thursday, I use defined risk debit spreads to participate in clean market moves without guessing or overexposing the accounts. Different trade types, same system. It's the same schedule, same risk rules, same profit discipline. One strategy. I'm not switching things up. I'm not chasing setups. I'm executing a plan that's designed to work across different market conditions while keeping risk controlled and time commitment low. That's how this stays an hour-a-week process instead of a full-time job. Let me show you a real example so this doesn't feel like theory. This is a QQQ debit spread that I entered on a Thursday. And I use QQQ because it's liquid, it moves cleanly, and the spreads are tight, which matters when you're doing this consistently and when you're scaling up. I had a directional bias, but I didn't want unlimited risk. So instead of buying a call and hoping, I structured a debit spread. And this is defined risk, defined reward, no surprises. Now, I know my maximum risk the moment I enter the trade. I know the profit target before the trade was live. This is consistency. This is structure. This isn't about catching every tick. It's about a clean move, taking profits when they're there and moving on. Following a plan is so easy. It makes trading simple. And once the trade hit my target, I closed it, but it was all done automatically because I set a target. No second guessing, no trying to squeeze every dollar. I'm not even watching the charts that when it happens, and that keeps this boring, and that's exactly why it works. And there's one piece that matters, and people rarely talk about it honestly. I didn't expect the account to do all the work by itself. I consistently added small amounts of money. Not all at once, not aggressively, just enough to keep the growth engine rolling. And when you combine a system, defined risk, consistent execution, and steady contributions, growth becomes predictable. Not fast, not flashy. And like I always say, the way to get rich fast is to get rich slow, because then you can hold on to your profits. It's real. And this is what I teach my students, and they are absolutely loving the structure and the simplicity of this. So hold on, let me zoom out because I don't want you to miss the point. This isn't about finding a magic trade, and it's not about trading more. The change was removing randomness by committing to a system. How does that sound to you? I know the people that I'm working with love this. I trade on a schedule Monday and Thursday. You always know what to do. There's no confusion. I use the right trade type for the job, and I define risk early. No emotions. I take profits when I'm supposed to take profits. And most of the time, this takes about an hour a week, not an hour a day. And so once you understand that trading stops feeling like chaos, you stop chasing and reacting, and you start executing. It's amazing. So if you're serious about replacing your income and not gambling and not getting rich quick, this is the shift that has to happen. I mean, let's look at that chart that I showed you in the beginning. That's awesome, right? Is that what you want? If you want help building this kind of structure, I've actually built a free roadmap that shows you this step-by-step process and how long it will help you to get financially free. So go ahead and check that out right now. And if you liked this video, you're gonna love one of the videos where I talked about one of the best traders in the world and his strategy. You can click that right above. And so the key to getting success and rapid growth isn't excitement, it's consistency. And consistency is what actually changes account and changes lives. And thanks for watching.